Me sound checking.
Test, 1, 2, 3.
Good job.
Grazie.
I should probably play some music like right here. Be a bad idea.
It probably wouldn't. You could play Still Point.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm looking. Well, that's in it. Here, we'll just start it over. Lee has liked the stream. Thanks for liking the stream, Lee. Now I can call you guys out. Everyone should be liking. Thank you, Lolly, for sharing us out. We appreciate you very much. We love a good share. I see everything you do now. We've got you on Candid Camera. We got you on Candid Camera. I'm not seeing all these likes. I don't know.
Did you see mine?
Lolly has liked the stream. Yeah. It's right up there. You can see it now. Alex, thank you for liking the stream. All right, folks, we'll see you back in about 2.5 minutes. Thank you, Amy.
Hey, gang, Dominic Izzo, host of the Rants of Izzo show here on Spreely TV, reminding you, watch my friend Matt Spear on The Dumb Show daily as well here on Spreely TV. You're going to get talk, news, trending politics, all social issues, everything entertaining and engaging and educational. Do it. Watch it. The Dumb Show, Spreely TV, home of free speech. Speak freely here at Spreely. Pretty damn cool. Spreely TV and The Dumb Show.
Cool, you know, all the stuff. Whoa, you didn't reset your
I thought I did.
You didn't reset the light. God, you are aglow.
Geopolitics,
Let's get you
analysis,
I thought I did.
Yours goes to 2 there, sexy pants.
What about the one behind me? That looks great.
That is bright. I'll just fix everything. Don't worry about it. No, it's okay. It's your first night, you know? I respect that. Here, we're going to go Tink.
Direct, unfiltered.
There we go.
We can agree. We can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.
Oh,
What's going on? Don't Unfriend Me Nation. Sorry, I had to turn that down because all the little bling, 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 bling things that were going, here they are. They're gonna make little sounds, and I don't care. That's like great. We've got people who are liking the stream. By the way, if you donate on YouTube, if you donate to PayPal, which we've got the link, which is if you go to linktapgo/The Dumb Show, you can now like do stupid stuff. Like, well, if you do it on PayPal, you'll get your name and lights, and if you do it on YouTube, you'll get your name and lights. But if you actually go to Streamlabs. And I'm going to fix that sound. Don't worry about it. If you go to Streamlabs, Olivia already hates it. I don't even need to ask her, and she's already like, I can see her melting down over here. Just like, "Ugh." So what we'll do, if you do it through Streamlabs, we know you will get something kind of cool. It actually is you can send a GIF, and you have to be careful because there's some GIFs that are a little questionable that you can do. All right, so let's see. I know. We're gonna turn you down. Let's see. Sound volume. All right, I'm just gonna turn it off. Is that gonna be better for you, Olivia?
Yeah, because people are going to be sharing it and liking it all night, and it's just going to constantly go off.
That's a lot of presumption there, Turbo. Who knows? They might hate the show too. Stars. Well, we don't have any stars because Facebook is fascist. Let's just see. Okay. Sound volume, save. I'm turning it all down. And then shares. Volume needs to go down. All right, there we go. So now we'll see it in the center of the screen. It's up there on all. Wait, what is this? Kristen says. Well, whatever you like. Right now it does Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. If you like, if you follow, if you share, which remember I tell you every time, like the darn feed. And people don't do it, I'm keeping notes, and I get a report, so I can put you on the naughty list. When you donate to the show, going through PayPal, you can do that. There, see, Wanda just liked the stream. She's fine. She's going to be able to stay. No gulag time for her. And if you merch is the one thing. I've got to create a merch page, and I'm not going to do that again. So if we do, I will just call you out like I always do if you buy some merch. And if you donate, you can donate on YouTube. You can donate to PayPal at owner@don'tunfriendme.com, or you can go to the link tap go, which Olivia's going to put it on there all night. Mm-hmm. In fact, she's going to go ahead and copy that link this time because she didn't do it last time.
Guess what? I copied it and put it on Notebook. So I've got the Call My Show, the phone number, and now link tap go. So all I have to do is open up Notes.
Okay.
And copy and paste. I already copied and pasted link tap go into Rumble.
Holy moly, what a long explanation for something that just would have been awesome if we didn't say anything at all and just let it go. Maureen, do me a favor, the link tap go ahead and put that instead of dumbshow.com. Actually put link tap go, which is cool. All right, folks. Well, we've got a lot to do. Olivia, you're doing a great job. How was work today? Did you have a good day at work? Mm-hmm. Yeah? Everyone says we need to get you a fidget spinner or something.
Yes, I do.
I watch you, and it looks like you're counting rosary the whole time.
No, it's the mom bracelet Hayden made.
You look like a hostage victim who's trying to go ahead and signal the FBI that I'm
just a fidgety person. I have to be doing something with my hands.
Cheryl Lynn's like, I don't do PayPal. Well, that's the only way that I get my donations. So I guess you don't donate. So I don't know what to tell you. It's the easiest thing for me to do. So they don't hurt me. They don't do anything wrong to me, and they've always taken care of me. So I don't know. It's the best we can do. You go to YouTube and buy Super Chat, and they take 20% of it. I don't know what to tell you. If you can, great. If you can't, you can't. Buy more shirts. Cheryl, you love our clothes. All right. I'm not here.
I have been actually asked why we don't promote the monthly donations more during the show. I was asked last night.
Well, because they're $1.99. And okay, so let's walk through this. Spreely, we're going to create a membership club. And it's going to be once a month, and each month you get something. You get a T-shirt, you get a bag of jerky, you get a couple bags of coffee, and we're building that now. But right now, we're in the infancy stages of building my audience. So I don't know if you guys know this, and I guess I'll share it with you. The news site is getting, on average, anywhere from 10 to 17,000 views a day, which is incredible. It's only been up for like 3 weeks. So a lot of people are coming. So it's pretty awesome. So that's number one. And they're sending out right now about 10,000 emails a week. That's going to go up to 150,000 emails shortly. I have to build my audience. So what happens is they fire it off to their 9 million users, and then people unsubscribe and say, I don't like that guy, which is fine. It happens. And then, which is really cool, because actually we have a very good ratio. Once people listen to us, they tend to come back. But once that happens, then we can start asking for monthly stuff. And I've thought about it. So right now what we have is Facebook, which is $1.99. But you can go to PayPal, even if you hate PayPal, and you can do a monthly subscription for that. You don't get anything right now because we're still working on it. But what that does give you is my personal love and attention, and Olivia's, and it helps keep the show afloat because we're not funded by anybody. So there you go. So that gives you an idea of what's going on, just so you know. But every time you go ahead and like or share, thank you. Stevens Rick is back. Springfield's here.
Awesome.
I saw you on Facebook this morning, so congratulations on having the moxie of coming back. Thank you for liking the show. All right, so we've got a lot to do. Crazy. I just saw that Toronto is playing somebody at 11 o'clock tonight.
Coyotes.
Ooh.
Well, it's like when they're on their West Coast, the Avs are on the West Coast road trip.
Yeah,
they
I
don't
know.
start till like 10:30.
I know, but we loosened up the Coyotes for you. They should be primed and ready to go. And we took care took care of Vancouver, which is a pretty.
Considering they're number one in the league right now.
Yeah, that's not going to. I think the Avs are going to go on a tear now. I think the Avs are like, okay, here we go.
Right. Judy wants to know what's better, PayPal or the Facebook way?
PayPal.
Okay.
But it depends. If we're going to give $1.99, you might as well just do Facebook. If you want to give more monthly, then you can do PayPal. Listen, y'all, whatever you want to do, I trust you. I trust you implicitly. You decide. But what Olivia and I would like to do is start doing like something on the weekend where we do a show, or maybe we release some content that's just for the group. So we're coming up with that right now, and I want to make sure it's worth it. What I don't want to do is create a club that alienates people. Because I don't want to do that. I want to be able to have access where I can give it away for free too. There's people who are just going to call or write me and say, Matt, I can't afford it. I'm like, okay, here you go. It's free. I'm never going to be that way. I don't like to be that way. Vicky broke her box that I sent her, just smashed it into 1 million pieces, stepped on it, ran over it with her car, her Documents of Freedom box, and I'm replacing it for free. So Vicky likes to do those things. Also, hey, where the hell is, where's Kevin?
He's on.
Where's Uncle Stumpy?
He's on all 5 platforms right now.
Oh, is he?
Yes, he is.
Oh, is he?
I am talking to him right now.
Oh, are you?
Yes.
Oh, okay, cool. So I've got a little email I want to share with everybody. And
Uh-oh.
I'm a little frustrated. I'm not gonna lie. Let me just make sure I don't have any porn. Okay, we're good. Here, I'll just do a screenshot. Let's make sure there's no information that I'm giving out on him. Yes, that's good. Yeah, there's nothing here. Okay, here it is. This I woke up to this morning, and I thought it was so interesting. Kevin left the following 1-star review for the product Veterans First. Shirts.
1 star.
Shirts are awesome. Quality shirts that stand up well to the washer and dryer. Certainly doesn't sound like it, because you gave me a 1 star, Kevin. Kevin, I don't think this is the first time you've done this. Other people have done this. And usually it's because they're old. You are just senile. So there's a difference. So I called you personally on the phone and worked out your kerfuckle with the shipments. And this is the thanks I get. I just can't. This is, My real father dies, and then you stand in and disappoint me too. Thanks a lot, buddy. No, it's okay. It's cool. Don't feel any guilt or anything, Kev. I want to give him 1 star too. No. There's no such thing as accidents in show business. Just let me go ahead and just crank this out. And thank you, Kevin, for my 1-star review. All right, he's going to get that fixed, I have a feeling, and then we're going to allow him back into the house. Let's go into it. We've got a lot to do tonight. There's some good videos out there. And first topic, he's going to call in, by the way. Adam Kinzinger compares Christians to terrorists. Liv, it's time to stop texting everybody, and we're gonna actually go to work.
Oh, okay.
Are you available?
Yes, I am.
All right, cool. As long as, and folks, if you have not done it, you want to see your name in lights on the Don't Unfriend Me show, all you got to do is like, follow, share,
Annie
subscribe,
button.
share, like Annie just did. See that? Annie has liked the stream, and you will live in infamy forever. Here is Twitter's going off. I don't know what the heck's going on with Twitter. Sarah, thank you for taking care of us over there. Twitter seems to be getting more and more popular ever since Sheriff Clark. Remember Sheriff Clark on Fox News, black gentleman, wore the cowboy hat?
Yes.
He shared like 3 of my posts, and we have went
Really?
absolutely crazy on Twitter when he did that. So
Wow, that's awesome.
yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. So go Sheriff Clark. I think it's a little sad that I had to say he was black for you to remember him. It just shows you only know like 3 black people. But
No, it just shows I very, very rarely watch Fox News or any news channels.
sound like a nervous laughter to me. Donna, thank you for liking the stream. Well, Amy, if you want to be famous, it's real simple. You're a moderator. All you got to do is go and like and share the show. All right. So Adam Kinzinger, I look at it this way. If you are incapable of holding on to your seat in Washington, how bad must you be when people like Marjorie Taylor Greene or Nancy Pelosi and others get to do it for their, thank you, Judy, get to do it for their entire lives? I don't understand.
There is no difference.
And Adam Kinzinger is so bad at what he does.
I don't even know who he is.
A former representative who is basically a Twitter troll right now. He's just a shock jock without any scruples. Thank you, Nicholas. Appreciate you following us. Let's watch this video. And this will help put it in perspective what type of guy he is. And then I want to talk about it. Here, I got to move that. Okay, here we go.
There is no difference between Christian nationalism, which is what he's representing,
Right.
than the Taliban. Now, maybe the end is different, maybe
Yes.
the means are different, but there's no difference in saying
Well,
this is a government run on
again,
religion. There is no difference between Christian nationalism.
Okay. Olivia,
Okay.
what is your definition? Thank you, Vicky. We love you, even though you broke the Documents of Freedom box with malicious intent. Turn on my PayPal notifications. I already did. It might take a second to process the payment. So, JD, if you did that, we appreciate you. It should have automatically done it. Give it a second. I have faith in it. And if it doesn't work, I'll call it out here in just a second. All right, you know what? I'll just do it now. Hold on. Wow, thank you very much. Looks like we've got Amy. Amy, you don't need to do that. You're loved. Appreciate you. JD, thank you, brother. We appreciate you. And hopefully you guys get to see that pop up and put your name in lights. I'll fix it if it doesn't. We'll fix it in post. All right, so your definition of Christianity. Just give me the most basic, rudimentary definition of Christianity that you can come up with.
Religion that believes in God and that Jesus Christ is God's son and that he died on the cross for your sins.
Okay. And what's being a good Christian?
Being a good Christian would be being kind to everyone, not being malicious or mean or rude. I guess, just being nice, being kind, being open.
Fair enough. And like giving more than you take, I think also.
You're supposed to, being Christian, you're supposed to follow in Jesus's footsteps and do what he did. So caring more about other people than yourself and giving, not expecting to take anything back.
Right. Practice and worship, right? I mean, that's important to worship, to try to follow God's law and his example, like you said. And I think that is as simplistic as it gets. I don't think there's anything that says you have a mandatory time frame of praying and when to pray, and you have to face the sun or get down on both knees. And honestly, Christianity, outside of Catholicism, is fairly simplistic in its design. And really, it's between the connection between you and God, not so much you through the church and God, which Catholicism has a little bit more of. But either way, Christians are the number one charity-based giving organization in the world, hands down. Christians give more. Oh, that's right. Michelle says we were supposed to spread the word. Yep, supposed to spread the gospel. That's true. Hands down, the largest contributing organization in the world to charity. And that can be from blankets to food to money to time, whatever it would be. And I have experienced that more than anything else in the last few years is the level of giving from Christians. And Tammy's Diner comes to mind. I have to look at when we have something happen here in this town, how people react. It just seems everybody very much wants to give. So I think that's a part of Christianity is how to give, not till it hurts, but give till it feels good. And I think most Christians are that way. Now I'm not going to say that that's every single person because there's some real dirtbags. But so that's Christian to me. So immediately, I'm looking for the second word, which would devalue what a Christian is, and that's nationalism. Yeah, Charlie has a good point. He says, treat your neighbor as you would treat yourself and have no other gods. That's well said. So it's good addition. Anyone else have some more? Santana says, what a jackass thing to say. I don't think that's in the Bible. So,
follow the 10 Commandments.
Follow the 10 Commandments, yeah. Kristen's talking about tuning her monkey or something, which no, that's not in the Bible. That might be in some other book.
Treat people as you want to be treated and have a relationship with Jesus.
Right. No, that's not Alex Swalwell, Chuck. Eric Swalwell says those things, but that was Adam Kinzinger who said that. So, and I think you're thinking of Chinese Fang Spy Guy. So I know who Eric is. We've gotten into debates on Twitter and little crossing our hairs, and he doesn't like me. A lot of liberals don't like me. So anyway, now that we have Christian identified, thank you, Sandra, for sharing the stream. I love this. I love this new thing. It's so great to see like people be recognized for following. I don't think people understand like when we were sitting here writing the show, this follow. I mean, it goes off constantly. It's kind of cool. All right. So now let's look at nationalism. So in your definition, there's really two binary type focuses when it comes to, there's actually three. There's populism, there's globalism, and then there's nationalism. So in those three analogies, can you help me understand what you believe nationalism? Well, let's do nationalism last. What do you think globalism is?
To be honest, I have no idea. I don't even know what nationalism is.
Fair enough. Let's do it. So globalism is leading through something like the United Nations or the World Economic Forum or the WHO. And it's focused on that every country would collectively work together for the greater good of the planet. Usually monetary systems are tied in. Usually political systems are tied in. There would be a global group of representatives to lead the coalition of Earth. And globalism truly is that we're much better together than we are apart, even though that is complete nonsense. And we've demonstrated that when countries and continents tend to merge and grow together, we have two things that form from this by osmosis. One is an axis of evil, and the next is an axis of allies, and whoever writes the history gets to decide which one they are. And the reason why we have that is we had one lesson of that, we had a second lesson of that, and we're all trying to make sure we don't have a third lesson of that, which would be World War III. So globalism is very much what Hillary Clinton, the Davos Summit, World Economic Forum, this is the whole focus, is that America should not be a solitary country. It should be an amalgamation of the world. And the entire world should not have identity of national politics or loyalty or identity with country, but we are the world, one free group of people. Okay. So populism is a little bit different, which can focus on varying degrees. Installation of foreign governments, spreading the word of democracy, spreading the word of Christianity, really not a part of this conversation. When we want to focus on nationalism, Nationalism believes in a strong defense. Nationalism believes in borders. Nationalism believes that we are not the world police, that we don't need to be funding other countries based upon our beliefs and our political ideology, and that these countries relatively should work on their own behest to be successful. Hi, Robin. Thanks for liking the stream. If we can do that, we have a country. So when you take Christianity and you take nationalists and you put them together, what word is missing, do you think, that Kinzinger, this putz, is trying to go ahead and make? You've heard this say, or you've heard this type of thing when it comes to Aryan Nation, with the Nazis, with the KKK. What's missing, do you think, in the middle of that?
White.
The word white. And now that so Christian and nationalists don't contradict each other, because one is about caring about your neighbor and the other one is caring about your neighbor. The one is protecting ourselves and protecting ourselves, believing we live by a certain ideology in this country and a certain platform in this country. It coincides with our religious beliefs and our political beliefs and our pride in our country. There's nothing wrong with Christian nationalism. There's nothing wrong with being a nationalist. When you put white in front of it, it completely changes the meaning of those two words. Whether it be white Christian or white nationalist or a white Christian nationalist. Now you're talking about something completely different. You're talking about using your Christianity and your focus on nationalism as a weapon to single out other people who are not the same color or belief structure as you. That is a very, very different definition. So when Adam Kinzinger says you're a Christian nationalist, my answer is thank you. When he says you're a white Christian nationalist, I want to tell him to stand up because I'm going to knock him in the next week, because there's a very big difference. So the whole thing is, in your opinion, why do you think Democrats try to constantly malign us with Nazis? Now, I know we do that with Democrats, tree huggers and hippies. Do you think they're just upset from the 70s and 80s and when they all became yuppies and got BMWs and now they're coming back on us and trying to make us feel bad? But there's this narrative that we're Nazis, that we're supporters of Putin and Russia. How do you feel about this as a Hispanic woman? How do you feel about hearing people say these things about you, and does it bother you?
Well, yeah, it bothers me. And I think it's completely wrong. And I think the Democrats try to spread that narrative that Republicans are Nazis and all that, because the Nazis were some of Earth's worst people ever. And that whole thing was just horrific. And whenever you think of the word Nazi, you think of Holocaust. And besides the children of today, everyone knows what the Holocaust is, even though they're not teaching it in schools anymore. But everyone knows what it is. And so the Democrats are trying to align Republicans with Nazis so people don't change sides and people don't come over here. Because if you truly think that the Republicans are Nazis, you want to stay as far away from that as possible.
Right, and you'll do anything to stop them, right?
Exactly.
Because the rise of Hitler is something that I think we can all agree on is something that we should all take part in stopping before it happens. I think everybody would go and perform a retroactive abortion with a handgun on Hitler, even as a baby. I'm sorry. I think the most ardent pro-life person ever would probably say, if I had a chance to go take out Hitler, I probably would. And you should. And I'm sorry, because knowing what we know now, would we have stopped what happened? Most certainly. Would it have changed its face, and could it have happened with somebody else? Sure. But if we could go back and alter history, I think everyone would agree. And maybe that's excessive. Nobody wants to. Maybe we could wait till he's like 8 years old or something. Maybe 20. No, not even then. But the point is,
so he can't have any influence on anyone.
yeah, you get my point. By the way, Brent Murray has chimed in because Brent is an intellectual. And Brent says, go F yourself, you stupid effing brainwashed blank sucker. Just because I did it once does not make me a sea sucker for the rest of my life. I was in prison. I needed cigarettes. I didn't have any. And I really don't appreciate you bringing.
Make me choke.
There's no reason for. Well, I choked at that time too. Mitchell,
God,
welcome,
Matthew.
welcome to the stream. Brent, you can't put a dent in me. One is because you don't have the intellectual capacity, and you haven't stuck around because you're essentially a.
You would be amazed. There's been so many people who have come onto the show and called us idiots and called us racist.
Oh, yeah.
And been completely horrible. Your show is stupid.
Yep.
You guys are dumb.
Yep.
And now they are our biggest fans.
Yeah, it's
Why?
amazing.
Because they actually stuck around
Yeah.
and learned something and
Yeah.
realized, oh, I jumped the gun. And
Yep. And it doesn't bother me because I've said everything you just said to another human being before. The difference is I would say it to their face. So, I can't get anything from you that I can't get from a 3-year-old with his dad's phone. So, I'm good, dude. I'm good. But there's no reason to bring up my fellatio days. I think it's a little bit inappropriate.
your fellatio
Who did you talk to?
days.
Do you have photos? Who did you talk to? Who told you?
Oh my God.
But would we have the military we have today and the evolved weapons and et cetera? See, and that's the thing. When we talk about, I've been following and listening to Neil Tyson deGrasse for at least the last 45 to 60 days. I'm not a big fan of his politics, but the guy is a wicked smart guy, and I learn a ton from him every day. I watch his show, and when we're talking about time travel. It's interesting. If you haven't read it, and I want to give you an opportunity for a book, and I'm not making any money off this, so I don't do those type of things, but there is a book. Please get it. It's by Ken Grimwood, and it's called Replay. And Replay is about a guy who goes through his life, and he's an investment
good
banker, and he's in New York, and he's got an office, and he's got a crystal Tiffany paperweight, and his wife calls him, and he's got a giant satellite phone, and he's got everything in life that he wants, and he's not the richest man on earth. He's not even in the top 20-30%, but his life is good. And then at 42 years old, bam, he hits the desk, and he sees the time on the clock, and it says 3:11, and he dies, and he's gone. And then he wakes up, and he is his 19-year-old self in college with all the knowledge that he has obtained since he was 42, 43 years of life. And he knows everything. He knows about Apple stock. He knows about the Brooklyn Dodgers sweeping the New York Yankees. He knows about Legs, Pantyhose, and Apple Computer. I mean, he knows about Star Wars. I mean, this guy can literally do anything he wants. And so he does that. In his first life, he invests, and he goes and borrows $2,000 and sells his car, has his college roommate drive him to the bookie. He bets on the Preakness. He bets on the Yankees, whatever. So he wins it at a horse race that he knew about. Then he puts it all on like 1,000 to 1 or 1,000,000 to 1, whatever it was, with the Yankees sweeping the Brooklyn Dodgers sweeping the Yankees, which was actually like 1,000,000 to 1. And he is a multimillionaire and collects all these bets. And he does all the things he wants to do. He goes to France, and he does this, and then boom, 42 years old, 3:11 p.m., boom, he dies. And he wakes up again, but this time he's jumped forward another year and a half or two. But he still has all the knowledge, and it happens again and again and again and again, and each time is shorter and shorter and shorter and shorter and shorter. It's called Replay, Ken Grimwood. Go read it.
Very good book.
And I'm going to give you a little piece of that. And in that piece, he decides that he, at one point, is going to become like a philanthropist, and he's going to change things for the better, right? So the self-gratification ends, and he wants to start helping humanity. So he becomes a liberal. And he's in Texas, and he goes to Dallas, and he writes a letter, and it says, "I am Lee Harvey Oswald. I live at 37 blah, 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 West Elm. I plan on assassinating President John F. Kennedy at 12:01 blah, 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 on this day, November 22nd, 1963. And he goes and mails this letter. And he sits by the house, and he's a block away, and he's watching. And then all of a sudden, the next day, the FBI, police department, everything coming around, and they drag Oswald out of the house. And he's like, I stopped it. Oh, my God, I saved Kennedy. And this is going to change the entire world. And then, boom, 12:01 p.m., Dallas time. Shots ring out, and John F. Kennedy is killed by some guy he doesn't even know. And the point is, and the reason why I bring this book up is when we're talking about timelines and going back throughout history, you either believe one or two, maybe possible three things about time travel. One is that time travel isn't possible in any way, shape, or form. Two is that you believe that time travel is something that it's more linear. It's all those static and moments in time that you can't go back and go into something that's already happened. So therefore, you can move forward, but you certainly couldn't move back. And three is that the timeline is open. It's just the amount of technology to get there. And inside those, we believe a couple of things. One is that we can't change anything and our destiny is our destiny. Or if we change things, cataclysmic events will take place that will ultimately unravel the fabric of time. And the other thing is that we can actually do good things and change things for the betterment of society. It doesn't really matter what you believe because it's all theorem at this point. But the interesting thing to me is when we look at trying to do good things, learning from the past, we tend to replicate them. When people focus on things that happened yesterday, they get stuck in ruts and they don't recognize the same patterns that are happening in their future. And this is the old saying that what is past is prologue throughout history. And if we are not studying history and learning from it and keeping it in the present and applying it to our future considerations, we're ultimately doomed to repeat it. So when I hear these things by liberals maligning people with Nazis, it's very much different. It's taking something from the past that is malignant. It's not benign, it's malignant. Like if somebody said, you guys are a bunch of yuppies, or you guys are a bunch of nerds or dorks, that's benign. But when somebody says you're a Nazi and you want to eradicate another group of people, that's malignant. And they take this and pull it to the front. And it's in the guise of making it important today to impact change today and impact the future. But really all it is sensationalism. And you're trying to marginalize a group of people. And cloaked in that effort is 1940 Germany, where the Jews were evil. The Jews were rats and roaches. They were considered to be vermin, and maggots is what the Nazis called them. And they marginalized them. And it wasn't overnight. It wasn't these are the enemy. It was slowly they're greedy. They're working against Germany. They overtook our country. They control the money. They control the Defense Department. They run the politics. And slowly but surely, businesses were shut down and they were relocated into the slums. People started feeling stronger to throw rocks and fecal matter at the Jews when they walked by. And then they realized that there was very little difference between the people who were in those slums and the Jews. So they needed to go ahead and separate them to understand who they were, because you certainly don't want to impact German citizens. So you put gold stars on them. You put it over their businesses, you tie it to their clothes. That way, when you target your hatred towards somebody, you're applying it to the right person. And when that wasn't enough, there were people who started to support the Jews and help the Jews and get them out of Germany, recognizing what was happening. And those people were then labeled. Those people they had nothing to do with. So what they did is that they took the scientists, they took the Jews, they took the lawyers, they took the people who would speak out, and they put them in camps because they had nothing else to do with them at that point. And after putting them in camps, they realized that they couldn't sustain it. So they turned those camps into genocidal manufacturing plants to destroy and kill anyone who supported Jews, anyone who was Jewish, and anyone who was against the German Nazi Reich. Now, am I saying that we're all going to be rounded up? I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is if we don't call a spade, if we don't recognize it, Liv, and we don't sit here and say, wait a second, you don't get to say that I am one of the worst people in history, in society. You don't get to do that to me. Just like they did it to the Jews and said that the Jews were somehow evil, that they were a horrible people who deserved to be eradicated from earth. This is the language we're starting to hear. People are saying we should round up all the Trump supporters. There's a day of reckoning coming from Trump supporters. If any of you supported him, if any of you voted for him, if any of you have an American flag, if any of you have a gun, you're a terrorist. You're a white Christian nationalist. And this language is extremely dangerous. And I'm going to wrap up my point. This is why it's dangerous. Because the one thing that the Nazis had in common with the Republican Party today, and this is something that is a line of distinction, and it doesn't mean that they meld across each other or cross each other. It means that they're parallel to each other, is national pride. And just because you have national pride in a country does not mean you're a Nazi. And to be a Nazi doesn't mean you have to have national pride. They can be mutually exclusive. But what they're doing is that they're crossing this over and saying, because you have national pride, you are a Nazi. Because the Nazis claim to be Christians, you are a Nazi. And in my opinion, I think that is one of the most dangerous things that we could do as a society to allow to continue to happen, people like Kinzinger to continue to do. That's my long answer.
I 100% agree with you.
Woo! That's a big one. All right. So Angel says, Q, what about the Mandela effect? Fruit of the Loom did have a cornucopia and the rich man on Monopoly had the monocle. Okay. So I don't think the Mandela effect truly is where we're going with this. Liv, the Mandela effect. Do you know what that is?
No.
Okay. So do you remember? Okay. This is going to be fun. We'll do this right now. Do you remember Fruit of the Loom?
I would assume it's the underwear brand, T-shirts, underwear, socks, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fruit of the Loom.
That's what I'm thinking
Describe the logo to me. Close your eyes
It's
and think about it. Go ahead.
it's a bunch of fruit, isn't it?
And what else? Think of everything. What
Aren't there
holds
circles or like circles in there?
what
Or
what holds the fruit? Because you have apples and what else?
You have grapes, oranges.
Yep. And what holds the fruit?
Isn't it like the what looks to be like a cornucopia?
A cornucopia. So
Yeah.
that's what you remember?
That's what I remember. Yeah.
Okay. So what if I showed you the Fruit of Loom logo and you take a look at it and I told you that this is the logo for all time?
Okay. Yeah.
That people think it's this,
Oh. Okay.
but it's not. It's actually
Yep.
this
Okay.
and has been that. And here are all the iterations of the Fruit of the Loom logo throughout 1893 all the way to current.
Okay.
It never had a cornucopia attached to it.
Got
The
it.
Mandela effect is where you put something in an image or a song or whatever and your memory is a shared combined piece of it's not neuroses. It's I'm trying to think of the right word. Hold on. It's synapses. And it's mutually shared by a group of people who see something, and based upon the generation or based upon the things that were surrounding them during their when they intook this image, people, not as a singularity but as a collective, remember it in a certain way. Let me give you
Is this like the Sinbad genie movie?
Exactly.
thing?
I'm going to go to
Okay.
that next. So
Yep.
let's go to tell me about the Monopoly Man. Describe him from head to toe. What's on his head, all the way down to his
He's got
toes.
a black top hat. He's got the one, or what is it? What is it called?
Monocle.
Monocle
Yep. Mhm.
with the chain
Yep.
coming down. He's got a little mustache.
Yep.
He's wearing a like black and gray suit.
Uh-huh.
I think his tie is gray striped, white shirt. It's got the long coat jacket.
Okay, so you intricately remember every single detail.
Yeah.
Like it sounds like you could draw him in your mind. Fair?
Probably, yeah.
Okay, but great. But what if I told you that the second thing that you remember, which is most prominent, you remember his mustache, you remember the stripes, you remember it looks like a banker's or a guy who's going to a wedding in New York in a Rolls Royce outfit. But what if I told you that the thought of the monocle is absolutely 100% wrong? In fact, he's never had a monocle on
Really?
his eye.
Why did I think that?
Never, because that's what people associate, and everybody thinks that. That's what I thought when we mentioned it, but he doesn't. This is what people think they see.
Yep.
But this is actually reality, is the Monopoly guy never had. The last one is Sinbad Genie
Yep.
movie. Everyone remembers that there was a Sinbad movie. We can remember it was gold and purple, and he had his little mustache, and he had those funny little shoes, and the genie bottle. We remember this movie, the Shazam movie. We absolutely recall it, right? Liv?
Yes. Oh yeah.
Okay. Well, everybody, and this was the part of the movie that most of us remember. This image right here. You remember the purple lightning coming out of his finger? All of it, right? It happened.
I don't remember ever seeing it, but I remember.
Well,
Yeah.
that's why, because
There is none.
here's how I shut people down. People always say, "No, Matt, you're wrong. You're lying." Well, here we are for $10,000. Please tell me in chat right now. I'll give you $10,000 cash. We'll go to PayPal. We'll go to Venmo. Whatever you want to do. If you can tell me what was the second wish.
I don't even know what the first one was.
In the movie, what is the second wish? Just let me know. And you can't, because the movie never happened. And there was no movie like this, even though we all remember. We remember the posters. We remember the Sinbad cereal. We remember the VHS cover. This was it. And it had the Egyptian and Cyrillic type writing on it. We remember this. I know everyone does. And you're swearing to yourself you saw it. But what you actually saw wasn't this either. Shaq.
I remember Shaq.
Shaq did a movie. But there was no Shazam ever made with Sinbad. But what you're doing is you're taking
Shazam!
you're taking Shaq and that memory. You're taking the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and you're taking certain, like the Fresh Prince. This was the writing it looked like. See,
Yeah.
That was the Fresh Prince graffiti on the front, and then you're taking the Blue Genie with Will Smith.
Yep.
And you're putting this all together, and somehow your mind with synapses and filling in the blanks of where the pieces of obscurity are in your memory, you're filling it in with what's known to you. This happens with colors. There's a lot of times that we see colors that aren't really happening because of lack of information. The rods in our eyes can't process it, but our brain will, and it will go ahead and fill in the gaps. There's times where we're looking at lines in certain drawings where at certain angles we'll see them, and there's optical illusions that our brains will fill in. We did this with the blue dress and the gold dress. So when you're looking at the blue dress, you might see gold, and when you're looking at gold, you might see blue, and it will change in front of you sometimes depending upon what your eyes intake and what your brains connect. So it's an interesting thing. And the reason why she brought that up is, Angel, I have no idea why you brought that up. Angel says BS. What's BS?
It's probably talking in a
About Shazam?
no, probably talking in a thread. I don't
Yeah,
know.
there was no Kazam movie. There was no Shazam. There was Shaq in, I believe, Kazam or in Shaq Fu or something like that. I think it was Shaq Fu is what he was in. Look up and see if Shaq was in Kazam, because it's interesting to know. But the point
Let
is,
me look it up.
the point is on this whole thing is it's extremely interesting. Ask yourself this: what else do you see, or what else do you think you know that you've been told that is not true, that your brain has taken
Yeah,
on?
he was. Kazam, 1996 is when it came out.
Right. So your brain will fill in the gaps in order to solve the problem. Because, see, when your brain works and it's firing its neurons and going down the neuron pathways in your brain, if it has a lack of information, it will stop and it will not be able to complete the thought. And that's what happens when you get older, is you're unable to reach the recesses and access the certain memory cortex parts of your brain, and your brain will get stuck and you'll forget it. A lot of people do it and they go, oh, it's on the tip of my tongue. I know it. And your brain and you continue to work through it. There comes a point in your life where that process will become slower and slower, and ultimately your brain will just shift and move on because it's not productive to be in that loop. In fact, very dangerous for you to be in that loop for very long. So your mind will work and circumnavigate around your brain to move to a different conclusion. But when we're at this age and our brain is firing on all cylinders and it's working overtime and it's working autonomously from our direction and our thought, which is our brain working, isn't that interesting? That it will sometimes fill in information in order to get to a resolution. And this is where you find that you start plugging the gaps and plugging the holes. The reason I think it's a good question from Angel is because I think what happens is that people will do that very, very quickly when it comes to things like white Christian nationalists, is that they will use a single thread and tie it together because the answer takes more thought and more investment. But somebody like Kinzinger will take a look at national pride and immediately associate it with the Nazis because that is the easiest thing for him to think of, versus that there is an element out here that can mutually hate Nazis, hate white nationalism, but still care about our borders, care about our country, care about immigrants, and care about people, but have specific rules that you cannot encroach upon. Like, Liv, let me ask you a question. Do you have values?
Yes, I would like to think I do.
Do you have any problem with a transgender person coming into our house?
No,
Do you have a problem with a transgender person sitting down for dinner?
no,
Do you have a problem with them staying downstairs while we're upstairs?
no.
Would you leave a transgender with our kids alone?
Depends.
Don't lie. Just be honest.
Depend if it was a
Would you
young
allow
kid.
a transgender person to be alone with our children?
If it was an adult, no.
I would never let any transgender be alone with my children. Because in my opinion, the transgender thought process is a gross abortion of sexualization. And in my opinion, it's very difficult for me to believe that when someone has to manifest their sexual identity on an outward level, they're looking for acceptance, and they'll accept acceptance from anyone, including children. And that scares me. It doesn't make me a transphobe. It doesn't make me a homophobe. What it makes me is a dadaphobe. I'm a father. It's not a dadaphobe. I'm not afraid of fathers. I'm a dad. And I will do whatever I can to protect my children. Now, let me ask you a question. It's not just a transgender person. Would I let a male in this house, alone with my kids, that I don't know intimately, like this? No. I wouldn't let a guy in the house either.
I wouldn't let a female in the house that I didn't know intimately stay alone with my kids.
I wouldn't. And that has nothing to do with it. I absolutely, and honestly, surprisingly enough, I would probably allow a gay man and a lesbian woman over some guy I don't know off the street. Surprisingly, because I've known plenty of gay men and gay women, and they are some of the nicest and most loving human beings in the world. I think of Monica, and I think of her wife. They are fantastic. I think of Jon Stewart. I can go on and on and on and on and on. And I have no problem with that. But I draw the line. There's certain boundaries. Now, all of a sudden, that makes me a transphobe. Think about the porn star said she wouldn't sleep with transgender men, and the community came and just destroyed this woman. She killed herself. Just committed suicide because she felt with the level of bullying and harassment that took place because she just said, I'm not going to cross that line. And it's like, well, you're a porn star. You have morals. And they just destroyed this woman. Think of Dave Chappelle's friend who's transgender and how they destroyed her for having a relationship with Dave Chappelle. We have an obligation to protect our family, protect our kids, and use our best judgment. That doesn't make you a homophobe.
I mean, are we wrong if there's a convicted child rapist? Would we let them in the house?
No. And I'm not going to compare child rapists with all transgender people, but I will take sexualization and looking for acceptance from a materialistic and overall visual presence where you have to wear your sexuality externally, that you are looking for acceptance. And if you are, then you'll get that from anywhere, including my kid. I don't want that shit around my child. I don't even know if I'm actually worried about just somebody inappropriately being with my child. It's even just the conversation that I worry about. And I will never put my children in that room with anybody. And I'm sorry, that's the way it works. Now, let me ask you a question, Liv. Have we had black people in our home?
Yes.
Would we have a problem with a black friend staying with our kids or our children going over there and spending time with them ever?
No, as long as we knew them.
That's it. I don't care who you are, but there are rules.
I don't care what color, creed, religion, sexual orientation. I don't care who you are. If I don't know you, you're not going to be alone with my kids, period. I don't care. I mean, it takes us quite a while for us to let our kids spend the night. I mean, when they were younger, it took months of getting to know our neighbors before we let them stay.
How many background checks would I do on people? I mean, I would.
Now it's like Hayden's old enough to where we're like, she's got a phone and, I'll get the parents' phone numbers and text them and good. I've met some of my friends now are meeting them through Hayden's friends. So the parents. So a little more lenient now.
She would rip them apart too. I mean, Hayden has no problem with defending herself. Yeah. And it just comes down to this, is that I think it's disingenuous for Kinzinger to label people this way. He's just as bad as the people on the right who, call people certain names that are inappropriate that I won't even repeat here. There's just a level of discourse in this country that needs to reset. And I find the more I do this show, the more understanding I become. Someone would tell me to F off and chat, and I would go off for 20 minutes. That's not what gets me going now. It's when people are stupid. Like, that frustrates me. Like, when someone's just blatantly dumb and believes things that are not true. I have I carry the mantle that like I'm supposed to be confronting that person and educating them because you're on my channel, you're here, and if you're saying something that's wrong, I'm going to correct you. Anyway, good conversation, good topic.
I got a question.
Yeah, baby.
Judy actually had a question when you're talking about how your brain inputs
Yeah.
information.
Yeah.
Do you think that is what's happening to Biden? That was the question.
Oh no, that's a very different thing, right? So one's degenerative and one is just. I mean, they're both degenerative. Okay, this is the way I look at it. I wish Neil Tyson deGrasse was here because he would be able to go ahead and explain this.
I wonder if you could get him on your show.
He will never come on my show. His politics won't allow him to come on my show, but I would still love to sit down with that man with a cigar and a scotch, and I would pay $100,000 to talk, just to sit with him for a couple hours because that's a generational type of person you want to talk to. I don't like his politics, but he's a freaking genius. Both are degenerative, and one is a heightened state of which is associated with disease, and one of them is simply just degeneration from a length of time. When you look at your brain and how it works, it's amazing how people think that every human brain works the same. And although the basic functionality like an engine works the same, there is a very big difference between a Yugo or Volkswagen and a Ferrari. The same thing is true for people's hips and joints and knees and femur and hip sockets and overall sinew and tensillary strength in their muscles, which can make fantastic runners in some. And even though the basic construction of a human leg is they're synonymous with each other, it doesn't mean the functionality is the same. Here's another example. I am double jointed in my thumbs, in my wrists, in my elbows, in my shoulders, in my legs, in my knees, and my ankles. I'm double jointed everywhere in my body. I can do things with my shoulders that it would blow you away.
Our kids are double jointed.
Right. But I can't go, just because I'm double jointed and Michael Phelps is double jointed, doesn't mean that I can go swim in a 50-meter pool in, 16, 17 seconds. I can't do that, no matter how double jointed I may be. So, but I also know that if Michael Phelps and I are sitting side by side and we both have to hit a target at 500, 650, and 750, that I'm going to ding that target a hell of a lot quicker and more effectively than he will. So the brain works the same way. And the more you use it, the more you develop it, the more that you have a level of discipline, just like athletic training, just like playing a violin, and you practice, you get better. And there are people who have honed the brain to do amazing things for them, and they somehow look smarter. And it's not that they're smarter, it's that they've practiced harder. They've applied practical application and experiential learning, not just theoretical learning. Because I can read every book on hockey, that doesn't make me a good hockey player. But if I get out and I play hockey and then use books to hone and tapes and coaching, then I can perform better based upon training and guidance. And that is extenuated with discipline. So when I look at someone like Neil Tyson deGrasse, does he have the basic, a brain that's very much like mine? Yes. Does he have a brain that is far superior to mine with the way that he has developed and trained it? The answer is absolutely yes. So when we look at Joe Biden's always been a bumbling moron. Always. He's a plagiarist. He's a liar. He has eulogized 4 Klan members. He has always sensationalized his politics. He has always loved the camera more than he has loved anyone else. And he says things that shouldn't be said in public, and he doesn't have the ability, which is the filter, to control his mouth. So when you're dealing with somebody who already is ineffectual at the basics and the most rudimentary skills, they tend to latch on to other things. And Joe Biden latched on to football. His physical prowess was more exceptional than his mental prowess. So he honed those type of skill sets. Me, I wasn't necessarily a physical kid. I was also not a mentally acute kid. So I just kind of went around in obscurity. But when I hit a certain age, I started caring about my intellect and I started caring about reading and writing. So I developed my brain and I studied and I learned how to speed read. I learned how to memorize with word association. I learned how to do certain things to make my brain more effective. So when it comes to having the filter on this to say the things that can motivate or inspire, it came to me naturally and more effectively than it would Joe Biden. The last piece to this, and Olivia, you understand this because you've had family with dementia and things to that effect, is that I'm not a doctor. I don't know if Joe Biden has dementia. I've seen Joe Biden completely spry and alert, and I've seen him look like a drooling, bumbling zombie. But I will tell you this, I've seen photographs of him 4 years ago, and there is such a drastic difference that I am almost shocked.
Dementia's is slow. It's not overnight. It's not one day you're normal and the next day you're not. It's a slow process and a slow progression to get to the point where someone's just completely gone. My grandmother had dementia, and it was slow at first, and it was just small things, kind of like Alzheimer's. You'd forget some stuff, and when my grandfather died, she was there, and my mom was there, and she sat next to him because he had cancer, and he wanted to be at home with the family when he went and saw the family was there. And my grandma was holding his hand, but my mom said, I don't think she understood what happened. And I remember seeing her when we moved to Houston. I actually took the kids to meet her so they could meet their great grandma. And she kept calling me my mom's name. She kept calling Hayden either my sister's name or my aunt's name. But she was very happy, and she knew she couldn't remember who I was, but she knew I was somebody that she loved. And she was great to the kids, and we would tell jokes, and she was great. But by the end, she was so far gone that she didn't recognize anyone. And the only thing that made her happy, because my aunt and uncle are twins, that she regressed back to thinking that they were babies, and they had to get her 2 twin baby dolls, a boy and a girl, with bunk beds. And she took care of the baby dolls all day because she regressed far back. And if she didn't have the baby dolls, she would get upset. And that's how far back she went. And so it's not an overnight thing. It really isn't. And I mean, just from a year ago, seeing Biden speak from a year ago till now, it's definitely a change. And I'm seeing a slow progression of him going downhill. And that's why I have said for the last few years, I think he has dementia.
Look at the photographs here. I mean, and you and I were sitting at the breakfast table, and we were just having a conversation this weekend. And I was like, oh my God, Liv, look at him.
He does.
He's
aged a year. He's aged so much. I mean, that looks like 10 years in a matter of a year.
Yeah,
his health is very much declining.
This is literally 3 years ago. So he doesn't look good. And this is sad. I went through this with Reagan. Reagan was my idol. He's the reason. Hi, Jeanette. Thank you for liking the stream. And I watched Reagan depreciate. I mean, we went to the Simi Valley Reagan Presidential Library opening. We had a chance to go see his ranch. We had collection coins that were given to us. We were Ronald Reagan fans. And I actually had a chance to shake his hand when I was a young boy, which was cool too. One of the 2 presidents that I've actually had a chance to
never met a president.
Yeah, say anything too. And I think that I don't care which side you're on. I don't love Joe Biden. I've never liked Joe Biden. I think Joe Biden, what he did to Clarence Thomas was something that should have expelled him from Congress and Senate and being the president ever. It was openly and blatantly racist and horrible. They like to claim that Donald Trump's a racist, but that actually is racism. You got to see it on display. But it's not that I don't feel bad for Joe Biden, because I think I was taught to respect my elders, and I was taught to respect people who were on the silver way of life, and I always have tried to do that. So a part of me feels bad for him, but the other part of me really despises that administration and Jill Biden and the other people. Thanks for liking it, Ruth. And those people, because they are the ones responsible for putting him here.
That's what I think. I feel he's an old man. He's declining health, and I think they're using him like a puppet. And I think it's sad, and I think it's completely wrong.
But my grandma Peacock said the same thing. Where's is
That's
she from?
why I just asked if they're from Georgia.
Carrie, is your grandma Peacock from Georgia? And what was her first name? This is interesting.
I saw that and I was like, oh, interesting.
I don't love Biden, but watching his decline so publicly is disturbing and honestly falls under elderly abuse.
I agree with you, Michelle.
I
That's
agree.
where I'm at.
Michelle, you and I are on the same page too. Let's see. Al Konzenbach has liked the stream. Al, thanks for liking the stream. It's really cool to see everybody liking, donating, helping out. I really appreciate it. By the way, just a quick little plug, if you have not had a chance. Deborah, thank you for your donation too. I appreciate you doing that. That's very kind of you. If you guys are interested in donating, this keeps the show running, keeps it free. You can go to linktapgo/thedumbshow, click the donate button. Roman, thank you for liking. Or you go to thedumbshow.com. We're going to cut for a quick commercial, and we're going to come back. We're going to find out from Carrie about
No, they're not from Canada.
Georgia.
No, hers are from Canada. They came down from Canada.
Sorry,
and stayed in
you
the
said
Midwest.
no, they're not from Canada.
No,
I'm like,
they
Georgia.
came down from Canada and stayed in the Midwest.
Got it. All right. Real quick, just a quick video in regards to the documents of freedom. Takes about 1 minute. Just stick with us here, folks. We'll be right back. Hey, what's going on, Donut for Me Nation? Matthew Spear from the Donut for Me podcast. It's interesting. I've had these books for, 3 years now, and I've got, 3 independent books of the Declaration, the Bill of Rights, and the Constitution of the United States that I inherited from my mother. Leather-bound, beautiful, and they're older books, 1935, 1937, something to that effect. I'll show them on the show, but people see me reference these nightly on the show. And the interesting thing is I've never really put 2 and 2 together. We have a website, and someone asked last night, hey, how the heck do I get those books? Where do I get those books? And it dawned on me that I should provide these. So they are now on sale. They're beautiful books. They're leatherette books. They're hardback, which is nice. They don't have a dust cover or anything. I've used these, like I said, ad nauseum, and they hold up and they stand the test of time. They've got pictures of the framers, founders, inside the books. They make references with different colors to kind of explain things in a little bit of a simpler way or give some context. But these books, word for word, are the Bill of Rights, the Constitution, and the Declaration of Independence. They are absolutely stunning. You get each book individually for $15.99 over at thedumbshow.com. We also have a bundle over there where you can save $5 on all 3 for $44.99. And last but not least, the pictures you've just been looking at and the video is the Documents of Freedom, custom made by PFC Flags, comes in an amazing, beautiful, decorative box for $64.99. Stop by thedumbshow.com and take a look. They're available right now. So we are shipping those out the second, or God, this will be the 5th batch. We're making them. We're going to change a little bit. We're going to put 4 brads here, here, and here. So there'll be a punch, 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 make it a little bit firmer for shipping. But this is what it looks like. Documents of Freedom. This is an embossed star. It's all etched into white, non-knotted pine. It's gorgeous. And these can sit like this and face out in your library or like this on display. I love them. So those are available on thedumbshow.com. We've sold a metric grip ton of those damn things, and we're really happy about it. So you can get those, like I said, dumbshow.com, along with some shirts. We got a new shirt coming out, and I'm sorry, folks. It's hard for me because I don't like to pimp merchandise and all that stuff like a lot of guys do, but at least it's my own stuff, and occasionally we like to talk about it. So this is the new shirt coming out, Sign of the Times. I know there's a lot of people who wanted it, and that will be out hopefully tomorrow if I can get to it, but that shirt's going to be available. All right, so Olivia just took a little toity break. Glad to have everybody back. We didn't lose anybody, which is also a good thing. Topic number 2, Mary Trump is clinically insane. Listen, a lot of people, I always want to call her Mary Todd Lincoln. Not sure why, but this is the niece of Donald Trump, and I have been under the kind of feeling that it's okay to have an opinion that you don't like your uncle or your father or whatever. I'm okay with that. There's nothing wrong with that. But it always seems there's one crazy in the family. You got RFK. Biden has family members who are that way. There's always that one crazy person who brings shame to your family. But especially when it comes to politicians, I don't think that Mary Todd is an honest person. Not Mary Todd, Mary Trump. See, I did it again. I don't think she is a good person. I think she is a person who pretends that she hates Donald Trump. She is a person who does it for financial gain. She has very few redeeming qualities. I don't consider her to be extremely intelligent, but I want you to listen to this nonsense. And first of all, Mary Trump has no expertise in this field. She has no information that she has that we don't have. And she hates Trump, and she is making a living on hating Trump. So I want you to listen to this nonsense. Tell me what you think. Livia, great time coming back. You ready?
Yes.
All right, here we go. Maria, thank you for liking the stream. I appreciate it. And everybody who donated tonight, thank you for doing that. I think I've called all your names out. I'll find out why it's not working. But right now, if you like and follow and share, your name will pop up. Eventually, Dorita, thank you for liking the stream. We will get donations and stuff on there and hopefully have easier ways to donate. We're working on that right now. Right now, PayPal is the choice. That helps out tremendously. All right.
Kevin fixed the stars, and he begs for your forgiveness.
Yeah, you damn right you did. I'm sure you'll go ahead and call in when I'm not on the show sometime and say you're sorry, Kevin.
No. So when I'm not on the show, he's going to call.
Yeah, exactly. All right, here we go.
We also have to be deeply concerned about the possibility, I would say probability, but I obviously don't know. He's still.
That is like what bothers you about that statement right there, Jessica? Thank you for liking the stream. What bothers you when somebody says something like, "I obviously don't know, but now I'm going to go ahead and."
Because they're lying. They don't know what they're talking about.
You openly admitted you don't know, and now you're going to go ahead and tell us about what you don't know. So if you don't know, then why are you saying it?
Exactly.
That frustrates me more than anything. With all those books behind her, they look fake. Here's the video, and we'll start it from the beginning.
Those remind me of crayons in a crayon box.
She's a looker.
Totally.
We also have to be deeply concerned about the possibility, I would say probability, but I obviously don't know, that he still has highly classified documents that he could sell to the highest bidder, putting our members of our national security forces at risk. So, yeah, it's a bit of a mess. My personal.
What the hell are the national security forces? The NSF. I don't know. I spent a lot of time working with national security. I don't remember the NSF, but sounds like something out of like Team America, you know, the little South Park creator guys, you know, America, F yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking of.
Right. We're the NSF.
Oh, Judy just said a bad word. She doesn't like her.
Oh, I didn't. Yeah, if Judy doesn't like you, you got problems. All right, let's go ahead and watch it.
Hope is that he has to pay but can't come up with all the money, so the judge puts a bunch of his properties, including E. Jean Carroll Tower. I'm sorry, that's premature. Trump Tower, in receivership, and then giving it to E. Jean. That's sort of what I hope happens. But we're just gonna have to see how this plays out.
Shit in one hand and hope in the other.
Wow.
And see which one fills up first. Bob, thanks for following, brother. We appreciate you.
News is, no matter what, it has to be paid. He can't get out of it.
Not true.
It's also very good that he can't do business in New York for 3 years. And I know that doesn't sound like enough, but trust me, it's better than nothing. And 3 years in business is a long time. He's burned all sorts of bridges, and there's no pretending anymore that he isn't exactly who we've known him to be for a very long time.
How hard can it be to not look anything like Trump, not to get any of his features, not to look like Ivanka, not to look like Don Jr., not even Donald Trump when he was younger? He's a handsome man. And he's still a handsome man in a lot of ways. He's not. Yeah, I understand. He's his hair and he's overweight and stuff, but he's a nice guy, dude. He's not Just like Joe Biden isn't an ugly human being, but you got nothing from the Trumps. I mean, nothing. You got like that tree, you hit every branch on the way down. And when they were handing out brains, you held the door open for everyone else.
Did Donald Trump and his brother have a falling out? I mean,
I have no idea.
Why does she hate her uncle so much?
Well, obviously, pretty much tells me she doesn't have the money. She's out of the will. She's out, like she doesn't have him. It's my understanding that the relationship that they have, if at all, is nil to none. It doesn't matter. The point is that everything you're saying is complete and utter bullshit. It's based upon you're taking a moment in time where the appeal process hasn't taken place to say Trump doesn't have the money. Trump just went ahead and the merger was approved for Truth Social. In 6 months, he could sell his shares, and they're estimating that to be $4 billion in cash. Donald Trump is okay. Donald Trump has no problem. And he can spread this out over different insurance companies and bonds, especially using leverage for Truth Social, and pay this over and over and over. This is ridiculous. To assume that this is going to stand, the E. Jean Carroll is probably going to stand. But this fine from New York is just laced in complete BS. I don't see it working. But civil suits are completely different. I think that they will find that the monetary value is egregious, and you'll see that drop and be cut by, 60, 70, 75%. It's not going to be 83. I would be shocked if it stays at 83 million. I think that number, like I said, is egregious. She was going after 10, 13 million to get 83. It just seems punitive at this point. So that all needs to be discussed. But for him to sell a property, that's not how it works. And that's not the way this works. And Donald Trump has assets. Donald Trump is going to be leveraged, but there are insurance companies who will be more than happy to take this on, and he will get his money, and he will appeal this properly and hopefully beat it. When it comes to specifically this New York case. Now, with E. Jean Carroll, the second judgment, I'm just going to tell you right now, I think Donald Trump should pay. He was an idiot. All he had to do was shut up. All he had to do was shut up, and he would have gotten away probably with $2 to $3 million. And this would have been done. Show up, just do the damn thing, and be quiet. But he didn't. And Donald Trump, on occasion, doesn't know how to shut up. And it's going to cost him, and it's going to hit him in the shorts. Whether you agree or not, the first one, E. Jean Carroll should have got a penny. None, zero, zilch, nada, but it's a civil trial. And of course, that's going to make it very, very difficult because civil trials do not have burden of proof of criminal trials. Once he was found guilty of having to pay, guilty of Liv, help me instead of being on the phone, please.
I'm looking up why they had a falling out.
The slander and character assassination, all that other crap, whatever the final charges were. The penalty for that, I don't think he should have. She didn't know when it happened. She couldn't describe all the things that happened. She based it off a CSI episode. She's batshit crazy. We know all these things. But once that decision was made civilly, you should have shut up, and he didn't. And it's gonna hit him in the back pocket. This thing in New York is ridiculous. There is no victim. There is nobody who should even look at these 2014 loans that he took because the statute of limitations had far exceeded. The judge brought those into the case when he had no right to do so. This was a personal vendetta. This judge is a complete moron. The guy looks like he sloshes around and drives in his BMW with a fifth of scotch in his bloodstream. I've got no faith that this is going to stand up. But Mary Trump predicting that Donald Trump is going to sell state secrets, how stupid can you be? First of all, how? How is Donald Trump going to sell state secrets when everything he's in possession of or was in possession of, the FBI is either confiscated or aware of what he has? Second, how do you expect that money to get to him? Do you think he has Joe Biden level shell companies to move around? No. You think Donald Trump is going to go ahead and somehow get a payment from Russia? Do you think Vladimir Putin may have a little bit more to worry about than giving Donald Trump money for state secrets? Do you think China might have a little bit more to worry about? Do you understand that that's not how the game works? That's not how espionage works. This is just a feckless human being who is jealous of the Trump organization, who doesn't like the Trumps, and will do whatever she can to celebrate and tear him down, and that's what she's doing. Your thoughts on this, Liv?
I think she's a horrible person. I mean, it's definitely...
Did they say what the falling out was for?
It was... Mary Trump and her brother filed suit against Donald Trump and 2 of his 3 living siblings, Marianne and Robert, for exerting undue influence on the elderly Fred Sr.'s will. In response, Donald, Marianne, and Robert cut off Mary and Fred III's medical insurance.
So it's money.
It's money.
It's money. It's what all family members care about.
Yeah, and because they're loaded and they cut them off, now she's pissed and she's jealous she doesn't have that money anymore.
So basically it's my sister.
Yeah.
It's somebody who uses my father for the money, gets my kids almost taken away from me thrown in jail for complete fabricated bullshit, and then I fight it and win and have $10,000 in lawyer fees, and she calls and says, what do you want from Dad? And I say nothing. I want the M1 and I want my mom's painting. And then to get back in our good graces gives us like $10,000 of his estate, which we were obligated to have anyway. And we use it for one thing, to pay the lawyer bills that
she got us in the first place.
And then she decides to flip the hell out and say, see, I knew you were going to do that, blah, 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 blah. And my answer was, yeah, that's exactly what we did. We took the money and we had all intention of excommunicating you from the family to begin with. Yes. Once you tried to destroy our family, we had every intention to get money from you, to pay for what you caused to us, and to never have you be in our lives again.
Which she tried.
And if you continue to push it, we will seek damages for your actions. We haven't heard a word since. And I don't.
She tried last spring. She actually reached out and talked to Hayden
in
secret for 2 months, and then I got a hold of her, and
we made a phone call, and that relationship's been severed. Even though she tries to come on Twitter and follow us and watch, and she'll continue to do that because she's a narcissist, and that's the way it works. But this is the problem. When people say blood is thicker than water, I don't know if I understand that saying. I know blood is fairly vinegary and bitter. And I'll be honest with you, I have more faith in my friends than I do a lot of my family. And the reason why, and honestly, I have more faith in Olivia's side of the family than mine. Minus the Raymonds, who are hands down some of the just greatest people ever, who I consider to be my family, because they are kind and accepting and loving, and they don't judge, and they don't play Machiavellian games behind your back. Mary Trump is the worst parts of society. She's somebody who is a grifter, and she's making money off the Trump name, that somehow she has an inside scoop when they have completely disavowed her from the family, excommunicated her from the family, and she doesn't know which way is up and which way is down. So I could care less. Couldn't care less. Last one, and then we're going to go and we're going to get off early.
Yes, the kids were asking.
Jon Stewart. Listen, I have not been a Jon Stewart fan, and I'll be honest, I've watched 2 episodes. One is the one he did on Biden, and now the one he did on Tucker Carlson, and I've got to say it's funny. Now, if you can watch Tucker Carlson and find value with him interviewing Vladimir Putin in Russia and go, okay, I could see why he did it. I don't like Vladimir Putin, but I'm glad he did it, and I think it took courage. Then you have to see the humor in Jon Stewart, because Jon Stewart just crushes him, and it's funny. And I've learned to appreciate Jon Stewart, especially when he literally saved thousands of veterans' lives from the 911 Foundation and the horrible treatment they've received from medical and severance, and also the burn pit regulation that he did teaming up with Grunt Style and other people. I got to respect him for it. And he's earned my respect to at least listen to him. So I want you to watch this. I want to get your opinion, and I want you guys to relax.
Almost in camp.
You need to have a sense of humor. And if you don't, I don't know what to tell you, because there's times where Tucker drives me crazy. And in the Putin interview, I really don't care. Donna, thank you for liking the stream. But this is funny. Just watch it, okay? Live, enjoy. All right, I'm turning this up.
To work and home every single day that's nicer than anything in our... How does Russia have a subway station that normal people use to get to work and home every single day that's nicer than anything in our country? There's no graffiti. There's no filth. There are no foul smells.
That's a nice subway. That's a very...
And it's a nice subway because Stalin went and took billions from the people with socialism and communism and left people in literally dying without food to build these incredible monoliths to his country. And it's what most communist countries do. It's gorgeous. It's beautiful, but it's built on the backs of dead Russians. So let's go ahead and try to keep it in perspective.
Although, to be fair to the New York City system, it was constructed in 1904 out of urinal cakes by the great engineer Giuseppe Pissa Everywhere. But point taken, it's a very nice subway. But the subway, that's only one thing.
So we thought it would be interesting to take a look at a contemporary, modern-day, 2024 Russian grocery store.
Ooh. Go on.
All right. There we go. So I guess you put in 10 rubles here, and you get it back when you put the cart back. So it's free, but there's an incentive to return it and not just bring it to your homeless encampment.
I know I've said this before. You're such a dick.
And what's funny is, like, you can call someone a dick and still laugh at it, right? Because you understand it takes a lot of skill to be able to call someone a dick and not seem vindictive.
Really, truly, like a dick. I didn't realize America's homeless problem is caused entirely by easy access to grocery carts. I had all my stuff in my house, but I didn't know I could just put it on wheels. It's so much easier.
Is anyone going to make fun of Jon Stewart for making homeless people sound mentally deficient, like supposedly Donald Trump did with that reporter? I digress.
This is the grocery cart escalator. This is designed, I'm figuring this out now, where the wheels don't move, they lock on the grocery cart escalator. Look, Ma, no hands.
Okay, Forrest. An escalator for the grocery cart, and the doors open automatically. Oh, Mother Russia.
Russia is famous for its bread, which is one thing I can assess pretty well. Look at that. It's fresh, too. Look at that. Oh, come on.
His face.
The guy really likes bread. I hate to think what would have happened if he had found a bagel. But hey, if being a free speech warrior means you have to bang the occasional sourdough, Nostrovia. But our time is limited. Could you drive home the purpose of your deception on this trip in the most cynical way possible, please?
We didn't pay any attention to costs as we were just putting in the cart what we would actually eat over a week. And we all came in around $400, about $400. It was $104 US here. And coming to a Russian grocery store, the heart of evil, and seeing...
You just remember who made this point before Jon Stewart. I'm just saying, who made these points before Jon Stewart? And you know what? Nobody laughed. Don't you hurt my Tucker, my comrade Tucker. How dare you?
What things cost and how people live, it will radicalize you against our leaders. That's how I feel anyway, radicalized.
Radicalized. And it will radicalize you unless you understand basic economics. See, $104 for groceries sounds like a great bargain unless you realize Russians earn less than $200 a week. But that's the kind of context that what did you call yourself earlier? A journalist would have provided. But here's the reality. You know all this because you aren't as dumb as your face would have us believe. Perhaps if your handlers had allowed, you would have seen there is a hidden fee to your cheap groceries and orderly streets. Ask Alexei Navalny or any of his supporters.
In Vladimir Putin's Russia, political repression is everywhere. And hundreds have been arrested for daring to honor Navalny so publicly.
Right. Because the difference between our urinal-caked, chaotic subways and your candelabraed, beautiful subways is the literal price of freedom. But the goal that Carlson and his ilk are pushing is that there's really no difference between our systems. In fact, theirs might be a little bit better. The question is, why? Why is Tucker doing this? Here's why. It's because the old civilizational battle was communism versus capitalism. That's what drove the world since World War II. Russia was the enemy then. But now they think the battle is...
Listen to this point, because honestly, I get ashamed. You got to understand, my youth was going up against Russia and knowing what they did to people, and I'm not a fan of Russia. And I can't emphasize this enough. There's a lot of people who served during the time that I served and understand and remember, including Mel, Leroy, and other people who've served, what Russia meant. I know Thomas Austin does, but he crushes this point, and I want you to listen to it because it might go against what you think, but this is really, it really sums up what we're seeing with this whole Russia narrative. Here it is.
Civilizational battle was communism versus capitalism. That's what drove the world since World War II. Russia was the enemy then. But now they think the battle is woke versus unwoke. And in that fight, Putin is an ally to the right. He's their friend. Unfortunately, he is also a brutal and ruthless dictator. So now they have to make Americans a little more comfortable with that. I mean, liberty is nice, but have you seen Russia's shopping carts? And Tucker would have gotten away with it if it weren't for those meddling assassins.
In a statement to the New York Times, Carlson said, quote, "It is horrifying what happened to Navalny. The whole thing is barbaric and awful. No decent person would defend it."
Correct. No decent person would.
Jon Stewart is a lot of things. A sensationalist, yes, and he's a lot like Tucker. He just comes from a different side. And it's easy, from what I've learned, to snipe from afar. I do it all the time. I take people's videos and I break them down. I did it today. And I embarrass them with their lack of general knowledge and ability to be self-aware. It's easy. It's really hard to do that face-to-face. And it's something that I have no problem doing. I have challenged people on this show for 3 years. I have brought people on this show who hate my guts. And there's always something that happens at the end. There usually is a reasonable accord, minus that one guy who said he was Jewish and he was wearing an iron cross under his shirt and he's a Nazi. Remember that? I don't know if you remember that guy.
I think I do.
Yeah, but I banned that prick. But I try to leave people better than I find them. And I just give, I'm a garbage system. You put garbage, or you get what you put into me. You put in garbage, you're going to get garbage. You show some respect, I'm going to be the same way to you. That's the way I work. Jon Stewart went into Fox News several times, and he went after Bill O'Reilly, and they traded barbs. Jon Stewart can do it in person. He went in Congress, and he stood up against the panel of that weak, feckless panel that didn't want to provide money for 9/11 victims and did not want to provide money for burn pit victims, and a lot of them were Republicans. And I vehemently support him for that. I am not a fan of Jon Stewart, but I'm a fan of his courage. And anybody that can say that to Tucker and has no problem saying it right to Tucker's face, you got to have, he has some moxie. Reminds me of Bill Maher in that way. I respect people who are not afraid of debate, and Jon Stewart's not afraid. I hope Tucker Carlson sees it, and I hope Tucker Carlson actually takes Jon Stewart seriously and goes on a show. I would love to see Tucker and Jon Stewart go after each other, just like Bill O'Reilly used to do it. And most often, people are scared. I have, quickly, and then I'll leave it alone, a guy named Steve Hofstetter. He is a fairly well-known comic. He's done a lot of writing. He does stand-up. He's a red hair guy. He has nerd glasses. A lot of people know who Steve Hofstetter is. Well, him and I got into an altercation. And he came into the Don't Unfriend Me show Facebook page, and he started going after my viewers. And he was using his pecan wit and his, intellectual superiority through comedy and crushing people because he's a master troll. And all I did was completely destroy him with saying the following: "Oh my God, Steve Hofstetter came on my page. I've finally made it. Dude, I love your work." Steve Hofstetter had no idea what to say. He had no clue what to say. What's he going to say? "Screw you, pal. Don't like my stuff." So he went ahead and said something. And he tried to go ahead and bait me. And all I did was say, "That's actually a really good point, Steve. I didn't think of it that way. Have you ever thought of this?" And he couldn't come back. After 3 posts, Steve poofed. Steve won't come back on my page because I won't take his bait. Because he is a sensationalist. He goes ahead and contradicts himself constantly because he hates people like Tucker. He hates people like me. But then condemns people for disliking him for the same thing. And then he takes it personal. He also takes on hecklers. This guy's a master troll. So why would you get down under the bridge with a guy like that and not stay above him? This is the thing that I would tell people, is that when you change who you are and you move to a garbage in, garbage out personality, and you only treat people the way they treat you, I'm telling you, life gets much simpler. You find out who your friends are, you find out who your enemies are, and you know who to keep close and who to keep closer. I really respect Jon Stewart for that, and I think it's hilarious. I thought it was very funny. A little bit personal, but funny at the same time. Liv, your thoughts on the whole thing?
I thought it was funny at parts. I mean, like I said, I've never been a huge Jon Stewart fan. I used to watch a little bit of him, and then when his little sidekick was on there, what was his name? He ended up getting his own show. I don't remember his name. When he started.
Oh,
really,
yeah. Steve Carell was first.
Yes, and I liked when Steve Carell was on there.
Yeah,
and then it switched to the other guy.
Who's that guy?
He looks like Steve Carell, but it's not him. And then he got his own show.
Isn't that amazing? That just complete.
It's because he's not worth remembering.
Yeah, he's not remembering.
Name.
What is his name?
Anyone know?
I don't remember his name.
Anyway, I stopped watching when he came on because not
Steve Colbert.
Got it. Yeah. And I didn't like him, so I stopped watching him.
Yeah.
And, but I mean, it was funny. I didn't get to watch the last one when I wasn't on the show last week. I was talking with the kids, so I didn't really get to hear it. But I heard you giggling, so it must have been funny. So
I want to just show one more thing, and then we're going to go. And yeah, we're not doing too bad. We're still going to be a little early. Which is good. And I want to be off at 8, but you know what? This was a nice one tonight. So I want to read this to people. This was sent to Libs of TikTok. And I don't know if you guys know who the Libs of TikTok are, but they are a channel that was on TikTok that was banned, Instagram and others, and they were suspended. Tina, I'll answer that. And Libs of TikTok, I think her name is Raycheck, or is her last name. I follow her. I'm not here to talk about Libs TikTok, but I want you to understand something to the trolls out there. And I've had several trolls. I've had people threaten the life of my family. I had someone threaten to rape my daughter on her birthday as they killed me and my wife and her watched. If I showed you the amount of threats that I've got, I just got one this morning. Someone's going to hack my website. They called me a Nazi, effing blankety blankety blank. They were going to go ahead and expose me for being a child predator and all this other, whatever. Get in line. That's the problem is that when they're threatening, they know they can't find anything, or they've tried and they don't have any. Please look me up. Dude, I am a fucking Boy Scout. I am a Boy Scout. Yeah, you don't get a clearance the level I got without doing stupid. I can tell you right now how many parking tickets I've got, how many speeding tickets I've got. I can tell you which trouble I've got. You're not going to find shit. Good luck. Go get it. Go get it. I dare you. Please. And when it comes back with butt kiss, I'll laugh at you. But this shit isn't okay. This is the title. My face has blown up overnight. What legal actions can I do to take things down? This person sent Raycheck a a comment. I'm going to read it to you. Hi, the post says as it says. What I mean by that is a very, very popular alt-right creator, it's not alt-right, posted my face on her Twitter after sending her a message concerning the recent death of a trans student. This person genuinely believes it was a hoax. So I sent a DM I thought would never be seen. I have 20 followers. She has 500,000. All the DM said was, I hope you die alone and miserable at an old age. Toxic opinions are going to lose all the people in your life. And I know that's like not illegal to say. But it is illegal to then post my face and ask your followers your info about me. The comments are flooded with my personal info, and I haven't updated social shit in so long. Most of the info is currently inaccurate. That's begging the question. It means it is accurate, and she's trying to pretend it's not. But how can that be right? Sorry if this post is a little all over the place. This is still very fresh and absolutely terrifying. Thousands of people have seen my face, and I'm actively being slow doxed. If you so happen to be in the state of Texas, that's a bonus. Actually, it's not a bonus because Texas defamation laws are extremely conservative. Here's the problem. If you threaten a social media profile, a creator, a content creator, it is no difference that they are popular. The only thing is what they do to you. Do you understand that I can't say those things to you? If I threaten anybody, if I call them an asshole in the open public, I will be demonetized because I'm considered a public figure. And Facebook has a different... Drew, thank you for subscribing. They have... I don't know what the subscription is. It's got to be YouTube. So I have a different set of standards and rules that I have to do. It's kind of like a concealed carry. If I go and get in a fight and I'm at fault, if I flip somebody off, if I call someone a prick and then they pull out a gun and I shoot them, I'm going to jail. If I instigate it with a firearm, I'm going to be held culpable. I have a different set of rules when I walk out of my house with a firearm. The same thing's true here on this profile. If you're going to call and wish for the death or wish for bad things to happen to a social media influencer, and then they post what you say, there is no legal ramification against that. You entered their orbit. And I have called out many people on my show, even my first troll. My very first troll, that prick. I don't even remember his name.
I don't remember his name, but
Dusty
Dinkelman is what we called him.
Yeah, that's psychotic.
The special kind of sucker.
That special kind of sucker. That psychotic douche plow who called me at home, who called me and tried to get me fired from my bosses. We all went and had beer and laughed at him when he did that. You're open. You enter my orbit, and I'm going to go ahead and there's two things. If you enter the digital orbit, I'm going to slay you digitally. And if you show up on my front doorstep, that's another conversation we don't need to have too. So I completely, Roxanne, thank you for liking the stream. I completely support content creators who out these complete bullies and cowards who threaten people behind a computer. If you don't like me, you have every platform to call, to write, to say whatever you want. Just understand that I have the same right to reproduce that and show that, and I don't need your consent. That's it. Livia, you got 1 minute. What do we got?
I don't know. Just kind of everyone's kind of in their own little worlds tonight talking.
American Patriots Broadcasting says, what happened to me on Facebook? No comments allowed. What's your name on Facebook? Hi, Adeline. Good to see you. Thanks for liking the show. Hold on. Let's solve this real quick. We've got...
Did we solve Carrie from yesterday?
Carrie's still on YouTube. I couldn't find her. She wasn't blocked. Did somebody block American Patriots Broadcasting? I don't think we did. Who...
I haven't blocked anyone tonight. We blocked several people last night because there was a lot of trolls. But we only blocked the people who were like, hi, big boy, I want to get to know you, and post in other podcasts and stuff like that.
You shouldn't have blocked those people. What are you doing? Pamela, thank you for liking the show. Kathy, thank you for liking the show. Danny, we wouldn't block you, Danny. Did anyone block Danny?
I think somebody did. There was something going on last night. Apparently, he was saying some stuff that people didn't like.
Who gives a shit?
So I don't know. That was all Amy and Mike.
You guys, why are we blocking people? I mean, what was he? Was he breaking the rules? Was he saying racist, degrading type stuff? No? And was he spamming URLs and links? If he
No.
wasn't, then he has no right to be. Why is he blocked?
I don't know. I didn't do it. I'm looking at the.
Why is Carrie blocked?
Carrie was me. That was an accident because she linked my name in one of
Gosh darn it.
the chat streams.
I need to figure this out. I can
This person needed to be blocked.
okay.
I accidentally blocked her too.
I can only do this online. So we have to stay online and figure this out because once it goes offline, I can't address this. Okay, Danny, calm down. If somebody did this, I'm trying to figure it out. I don't know what happened, but let's not start throwing insults at people and stuff because mistakes do happen. But Amy didn't say she did anything.
It was Glenn.
Glenn did it?
Yeah.
Glenn, why'd you ban him? He called an OP a liar. Who cares? That doesn't break any rules. He has every right to call a person a liar. He has to back it up. David, thanks for following. You guys, racist, misogynistic, things that are completely fabricated or links to other shows and promoting other shows. Danny was trying to incite a revolution. What? What? Holy crap. These are the days of our lives.
Apparently.
Someone help me understand. I'm not mad. We could do this in chat, but I don't do it that way.
So the first comment from Danny yesterday is we may have cities under military control later this year, maybe tomorrow. Don't know how it's going to play out. We are invaded. That was the first one that got.
Wait. Say it again. Say it again.
We may have cities under military control later this year, maybe tomorrow. Don't know how it's going to play out. We are invaded. That's the first comment that got attention.
Okay, that's fine. I think that's there's a lot there, but fine. I don't have a problem with that statement. Go ahead.
I don't remember the rest of the comments, but the only other one that they posted that he said one group of terrorists could take out one to a compliant collector or dealer, and boom, we have armed insurgency. And then
once again, that's not a threat. It's an opinion. I don't have a problem with that. Someone said he called Amy a liar. Amy's a big girl. She can handle it. Amy, people call me names all the time. I don't care. Amy, did you feel threatened? Did you feel disrespected? Do you feel like we need to crucify Danny in a public square and tar and feather him? Please let me know. Otherwise, I
think people get a little jumpy during when we do the town halls and the live debates and stuff like that because we have so many people on. We get all these trolls. I think people get a little jumpy and think that everyone's bad that makes a negative comment, even when they're not. I
want to be clear. Mods are in the fire. It's like the ref. When somebody says, hey, Farrell, thanks for liking the stream. If somebody says they're at a sporting event and, hang them from a tree referee, what's the stupid thing?
I don't know.
It's a little limerick.
Refs, you suck. That's
whatever it is. They're the refs. Mods are going to get that a little bit. I don't think there's any reason. And if you're going to ban somebody, you got to tell me. You guys got to tell me this because viewers are important to me and I want them in this channel. And if somebody says you lie to me, that's just petty. Who cares? Danny doesn't know Amy. I know Amy. I'll take Amy's word over Danny's, but it doesn't mean that Danny, in my opinion, has ever said anything that he deserves to be banned. I think we have to, once again, I've said this before, we need to lay off the ban button. I ban people who are like the guy that was spamming YouTube the other night, 10, 20 comments, and I just got rid of him. We can't ban people who disagree with us because, hi, Mickey, thanks for liking the stream. How many people have come into this channel who just hate my ass? And then after 5 or 10 minutes, they listen, and then they're like, oh, I really like this guy. How many times? That was like 4 people.
Rick Stevens is a big one there.
Yeah, Rick Springfield did that shit last night. He did that last night. So I'm not, Glenn, you're an amazing human being. You know I love you. You know I care about you. That has nothing to do with this. I think we need to be a little bit more get off the ban button. And we need to have a conversation, right? I'm going to see if I can get... I'm looking. Okay. Why did Anita Smith get banned? Does anybody know why Anita Smith got banned? Yeah. Okay. So I need to try to figure out how I can get live people unbanned. You guys are killing me. This makes it so hard. Like, these people should not be banned. It's ridiculous. Okay, manage live. Let's see if I can find this. Oh, the good news, we've impacted 2.8 million people this week. Love you, son. Good night.
He just reminded me it's breakfast with bears tomorrow at school.
What does that mean? Do we eat bears for breakfast?
No, it's their annual bring your parents to breakfast, and they serve donuts and other stuff at the school.
Is it? I don't want donuts.
So I'm going with
They
them.
have what?
They have muffins too.
Oh, muffins aren't any bad. Do they have any like eggs, protein, bacon,
No,
potatoes?
it's just muffins and donuts.
It's muffins,
What time is it?
6:45 to 7:15.
6:45. No thanks, dude. You're eating alone.
I'm going. I'm taking him.
Have you?
It's the last year. We got to do it.
Okay.
Yes, you need to do like everything because I just asked.
I know.
All right. Liv, I don't know what to do here. I'm trying to figure this out, but
Do we need to kind of research on how to
no, because I
unban
can't
people?
do it without being online because I
Oh.
can't access the live feed. That's not the way this works.
Got it.
So why don't you just talk for a little bit and let me try to figure this out. My God, woman, you've been doing this how long?
I'm your sidekick. I'm Robin. Remember?
Tell everyone about the site. Tell them about YouTube. Tell them about. Come on, just let me figure this out here. Tell everyone about something. Tell them something. Come on, woman. You're killing me.
I know.
All right, everybody. Olivia's going to make this really hard for me. I'm going to somehow have to multitask.
I really don't know how to just BS.
Expose. Tell them what you did at work today. Tell them.
I can't really tell them what I did
all
at
right,
work
tell
today.
them something else. Tell them something. Okay.
I don't talk about
I got to
my
focus.
job.
I can't do this. I can't do this when we're doing this. You guys are really like petting me up here, mods.
So Carrie, we can still see the show. She just can't comment. So that was my bad, and that was a total
That's fine, but
mistake.
I don't know how to fix it. That's the problem. So can you help? Look on Google or something?
Yes,
Because I'm doing
I
the same
can.
thing and I can't find anything. Okay. How do I unblock someone live? Facebook. Oh, you guys are killing me, man. Seriously, you guys are so freaking ban happy. Go to Facebook, open up. No, that's not it. I want live. Live. We were going to be off early tonight. You guys had to screw this up. Seriously, I can't believe it. How can I unblock? This doesn't help. It's not going to be okay. You know what? I don't do this show to block people. So no, it's not going to be okay. No, it's not. Not for me. Fans are the biggest thing to me. And even the haters are you guys know this. You know how I feel about this. Those guys are important to me. They have a right to, if they want to tell me that they hate me, then that's their right.
It's free speech.
Oh God, where's this thing at? Hold on, Danny. We're working on it, buddy. Hell, I don't know. Okay, here. Live video. Ah, there it is.
Did you
think.
get it?
No, I don't know. Hold on. Post on timeline. Don't unfriend me. Show. Home. Go live. Okay, now I should be able to go into my settings. Hold on. Don't tell me I'm live now. Don't do it. Okay, good. All right, so there I am. Interactivity. Settings. Viewer. Okay, that's not it. Stream. No. Stream setup. Audience settings. Ooh, no. Enable preset pin comment. No, I can't do pin comments because Lee is old. And he says I can't do it. Distribution. Here we go. No. Interactivity. Comments. Live.
Yes.
Oh, content moderation. Here we go. Banned from stream. Here we go. Banned. There are none. Suspended in stream. There are none.
Oh, it's got to be from tonight. It was last night's stream.
Banned from all live streams. Danny Jr., there it is, banned.
And
Rick
Christy.
Stevens, unbanned. Carrie, who banned Rick Stevens? Who banned Ricky Springfield?
That you told us to ban him last night.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
Okay, maybe I did.
And then he came on YouTube.
Okay. All right. So I just,
Hang tight. I'll be right back.
Carrie, Danny, and Rick Springfield, check and see. Look under privacy settings. I got it. I figured it out. I figured it out. Okay, let everyone check and see if you're back on. And then we're going to leave because I got to go. All right? And listen, here's what it comes down to. Just if someone says, Amy, you're a bitch, there should be a warning given, and then that person's gone. But we got to communicate that in chat group. I'm not mad at anybody. A lot of this is just show for the show. I just want us to be careful. Someone has the right to call Amy a liar, and Amy has the right to defend herself. If Amy feels like, or anyone feels like they're being singled out or they can't take it, then they'll let us know. But if not, Carrie, just log out and you got to log back in. Carrie, I just unblocked you. There's no reason for you to be blocked. It couldn't possibly be because of all the Q stuff you post, huh? No offense. All right, I'm going to go do it again. I'm going to go in here and double check.
Oh my gosh. Ethan's little girlfriend at school.
Thanks, Donna. I appreciate it. We have a good show. It's a fun show. It's just unfortunately. Hey, Todd, thanks for liking the stream, Bubba. Appreciate you. Todd Bisbo. Sounds like it.
So, you know how Ethan asked the little girl at school for her phone number?
Oh, now you want to talk when I figured it out?
Well, it's because
great. Go ahead.
So he texted her today through my phone because it wasn't working through his iPad since he doesn't have a number.
Yeah.
And she didn't answer. She just texted back. So I had to give him the phone.
No way.
Yeah, I was like, this is Ethan's mom. And she's like, oh, hi, how are you? So I ran the phone up to him real quick before he goes to bed so I could talk for a minute. And he was like, yes, when I told him.
That's awesome.
Oh, young love.
Well, that's
so
good.
Cute.
It is so cute. It's good to see so many people on. We've got 100 plus on. We had a ton of people on.
We had like
Rumble.
150 at one point.
Yeah, so things are good. All right, hurry up, you guys. I want to go. So tell me, did you get unblocked? You have to log out and come right back in. Not working on that stream. Yeah, you know what? That's probably what it is. It's this. Hi, Shirley. Thanks for liking the stream. You guys, Carrie, Danny, and Rick Springfield. If you guys are not unblocked, go to thedumbshow.com, click on contact, pull it down, send me a quick contact, let me know, and we'll work it out. But I think I've got you all taken care of. Getting the feel of your content, consume lots of political and social shows. Drew, good, man. Good to have you here, man. Thanks for coming by. Darla, it's good to have you here, too. Good to see you. I enjoyed talking to you on Facebook. We're starting to hit our rhythm. You know, I'm not as grumpy. Everything's kind of more laid back. We're having a good time. This is the way it should be. And unless we have a couple dipshits coming here, you know, things will be okay. Last but not least, folks, Olivia has been all day attaching you this link.
Oh, yeah.
And this is Link Tap Go. It's Link Tap Go /The Dumb Show, TheDumShow. There you can find all of our podcasts, social media, our news, wherever we are. The fourth button down is donation. Jeff, thank you for liking the stream. It will connect you to a PayPal site. It's a donation site. There you can give a couple bucks. You can give $1,000. You can give a monthly subscription, whatever you want to do. It keeps the lights on. This is 100% paid for by Olivia and I. This is a family-run affair. Amy, Leroy, and Mike are also involved in this, and we have a lot of moderators and people who help out with the show. But it is syndicated through Spreely TV, but we're just doing that. This just started the last 3 months. So we need all the help we can get to keep the show free, and that's what we try to do. We try to keep the ads down. We try to keep just the ads playing on Facebook and YouTube because that's a part of it. Jeff, thank you for sharing the stream. And if you don't mind, help us out, donate, whatever you can do. If you can't do anything, that's fine. It's completely okay. We don't need anything if you can't afford it. Save that money for you. But if you do have a little bit extra, you want to help us out, that's how you do it. We will be back tomorrow night. Liv, what time are we going to be here?
7 o'clock. I may not be on tomorrow.
7 o'clock. Liv won't be on.
Maybe. I don't know. Frederick, he said he hasn't heard us cuss tonight. I cussed last night.
Oh, she was horrible. She was a potty mouth. She was cursing and screaming and talking about Beelzebub and Satan, and it was horrible. Just Satan. So she was bad last night. Rose, thank you for liking the stream. Folks, we're out of here. Recorded show. Go watch it from today. It's freaking hilarious. Brenda, thanks for liking the stream. I'll have a recorded show tomorrow. Again, live 7 o'clock, news throughout the day. Stay with us. God bless. Thanks for taking care of us. And go over to The Dumb Show and buy a shirt. There's a lot of cool stuff over there.
Like this one, the assault gun. Or
It's
the assault
Did you just
weapon.
say the assault gun?
Assault weapon.
You need to show people, move the mic so they can see it. Danny, thank you for sharing. It is an AR-15 with salt attached as a flasher. So it's a salt weapon. Available, thedumbshow.com.
Melanie said the link is not clickable or copyable in
You just have
YouTube.
to type. You have to type it in. You have to type it in. Unfortunately, that's not the way it works. A lot of those don't allow links, and that is just the way it is. There's nothing I can do. So you have to link, tap, go, / The Dumb Show. Real simple, real easy.
Let me type it in, though.
Okay. Tina says, thanks for not answering my question. Son of a gun. All right, let me find it. Angel, boxes, and the boxes are beautiful. Good.
Okay, try that one.
How can Biden cancel more student debt when SCOTUS said he couldn't? Well, understand this. SCOTUS said that he couldn't use it through a straight up forced tax, using tax dollars. He is using a loophole, which is a forgiveness clause that allows him to do so, and the SCOTUS hasn't ruled on that yet. Now that he has enacted it yet again for the large amount he did, and he's pushed his luck, I have a feeling SCOTUS is going to hear about this. It is something that was already passed. It's a piece of legislation. SCOTUS will not probably touch this until they change the legislation. So you can blame your Senate, you can blame your Congress. Those are the people who are responsible that allow Joe Biden to do things like this. There's your answer. Now I'm going to leave, and thanks for making me feel guilty. Good night, everybody. Love you, and see you tomorrow.
Night, y'all.
Good night.
Adjusting transmitter output.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me Show with your hosts, Matt, Leroy, Amy, Olivia, and Mike. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on the Spreely.tv network and all major social media channels at The Dumb Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.